Turning the fortunes of our region around is going to take commitment from all of us. From a councillor perspective, it's not an easy job, nor is it a job that we want to have to do. But not having rates appropriately set by councils before us has led us to the revenue issues we faced today. We need to be the grown-ups in the room. We have a multi-million-dollar shortfall in asset maintenance, and that backlog is absolutely swamping us. And you'll all be aware of this, particularly with our road network. So while we want to be a progressive and expanding council, we also need to fix what has not been done in the past and get back to basics. So that's going to involve increasing efficiencies, recovering asset costs, and delivering a greater level of service. So all the issues that have been frustrating you, the community, over any number of years. We really are, stuck between a rock and a hard place and have two options. We either grow our way out or we manage the decline. Now, growing our way out, that's going to ease the burden for all of us when our population increases, but it's going to take time. The thing about managing the decline, and I'd say that's the path we've been on for years, is it's going to see the most vulnerable people in our community suffer the most, because they're the ones whose services and amenities will be reduced. So, hand on heart, the only option out of this is to grow. It's not an overnight fix, of course, and it's going to take years to rebuild, but we need to start thinking long term and become sustainable for future generations. The other thing is we can't continue to miss out or fall behind other regional areas because of our declining financial circumstances. A big thing that gets mentioned often is grants. Why aren't we going for grants? Well, the honest answer is we go for as many grants as we possibly can. But the reality is we are unable to make the co-contributions that most grant funding requires. And the hydrotherapy pool is just a perfect example of this. That fell through the gaps because we couldn't afford the maintenance, but nor could we pony up the money that was necessary for our portion of it. So to do what needs doing, rates are going to have to increase. So whilst it hasn't been finalised, the estimates at the moment are that for an average Armidale home, this increase is going to be in the order of $237 per year for 3 years. For an average Guyra home, it's going to be around $113 per year for 3 years. So this equates to around $4.50 and $2.20 per week, respectively. Now, as an offsetting measure, we will examine reductions in waste levies and water rates. The other thing to note is that we are a comparatively cheap council in terms of rates. So other flourishing regional cities and aspirational councils, be it Dubbo, Bathurst, Orange, when we compare our rates to them, we are markedly lower. Now, like you, no one wants to pay more in rates. I don't want to pay more in rates. You don't want to pay more in rates. But it's that lack of action by past councils that has forced our hand. Now, you might take some solace in the fact that the value of your home, it's shot up significantly in the past 2 years. But also, I acknowledge that, that increase in house prices doesn't put cash in your pocket. That said, unless we make our region a more vibrant one where people want to live and visit, then those gains could well be at risk. Now, in the coming financial year, council will go into deficit and we have to dip into our reserves to keep operating. So any meaningful rate increase, that won't come into effect until midway through 2023, when we will see our financials turn around and we can build a stronger and more resilient region.